Hello, Saskia, devotional goddess here. What do you do when you notice you're becoming a little under the weather? When you get those little warning signs, right? We all have them. For me, I feel it in the throat or in the glands, that I get a bit scratchy or it gets a little constricted in my throat. That's my area that my immune is getting a little compromised. My lower back is the area where I'm not doing enough of my practice and moving my body enough to create stability in my physical being. Those are my two key signals in the wisdom of my body to say, hey, pay attention. Got to make some changes. Got to up the self-care. Got to get a little more movement in to create more stability in my physical body. What is it for you? Do you know? Because often we do, but sometimes we don't always put the time to pause and really listen, or have the consistency to follow through to nip it in the bud. That's the key aspect. The consistency in following through when you witness, I'm a little off. And that's the tricky thing. In this day and age, with everything that we juggle, how do you make time for your consistent well-being? Right? As kids, our parents held the structure. They sent us to camp. They sent us to extracurricular activities. And that's how we had the structure. And then as we aged and we became our own parent and the parent to ourselves, where did we maintain that structure? And were we taught how to create it, maintain it, sustain it? Often not, because often our parents were depleted themselves and putting everything out for their children or their families, or their children, their families, and their work, however it was, however the mix was for them, that putting themselves in that mix was often not really present. That's why it's really important for me that my kids see me meditating in the morning. They see me doing my morning workout where I move my body. I invite them in. No, thanks, Mom, that's your thing. It's like, that's okay. I'm planting the seed to sit in stillness, to come back to myself and cultivate that steadiness within where I draw my senses inwards and I contain my energy and allow it to build and harness as I drop into my heart. And I connect to my heart and my true divine plan, my soul's plan for myself when I came down into this human body. We all have one. But the trick is to cultivate self-care, to cultivate stillness and consistency within that. And believe me, it might only be 5 minutes a day. That is massive. Once that becomes the norm, you'll crave more. You'll be like, oh, I sat for 10 minutes this morning. I'm going to make more time for myself tomorrow. So you get up 5 or 10 minutes earlier to accommodate that desire to sit in stillness for longer. And I'll be honest, there are mornings that I lie in bed and I'm like, I don't want to get up. And then I'm like, no, but you don't want to miss that opportunity for sitting and being fully present to myself. And that's what gets me out of bed. It's because I don't want to miss that beautiful time that I get to sit with the divinity that lies within me, that I get to set the tone for the day for me. And then if I miss it, I do notice this subtle ungroundedness, this subtle phonetic energy. But if I sit, my day has a different energetic pulse. Now, life happens. Sometimes we don't get time to sit. You could sit at the kitchen table close your eyes, place your feet on the earth, and just take 4 breaths. Just take 5 breaths. Just set a timer for 3 minutes. These are subtle ways, and actually, wrong word, they're not subtle. They're proactive steps that you can take to allow yourself to be present, to reset at any moment of a day, and allow yourself to be in the moment. And it's going to have a ripple effect throughout your day. It can't be any other way. Now, when you're sick or when you feel that scratchy throat, what is your routine? We can't just put it down to, I took a Tylenol, I took a load of herbs, I took whatever. We can't just allow it to be something outside of ourselves that we consume that we expect to be the magic pill. This week I've been noticing that I've been depleted, and I've been seeing those subtle signs of, you're running on empty. You need to tank up. Otherwise you're going to be out in bed. Enforced tanking up, right? So yes, I did take my preferred herbs. I took them in because I knew that would support me. But the additional steps that I made is that I got into my bedroom an hour and 15 minutes before my bedtime. I took a moment to find stillness. I massaged my feet. I massaged my hands. And the little bit that was left on my hands, I just placed a little bit on the crown of my head, because that helps the polarity and the energy flow from top to bottom. Right? These are things. And I also said a prayer before sleeping so that my body could heal and that could connect and restore. And this morning, I was like, oh yeah, I feel good. Feel good. I'm not 100%. I'm not like, woohoo, I got the energy today. Let's do 100% of my day. No, I'm still going to be operating on a 7 out of 10, opposed to a 9 or 10 out of 10. Because I realize, one act is not going to shift everything. I need to be consistent. There's a spider spinning its web and dropping down from my plant. It was quite magical to watch for a moment there. My thing is now to be consistent. To be consistent each night for the next 3 to 4 days. To continue that ability to restore. To maintain that rebuilding of my depletion. So it's going to be a mindful practice. It's going to be a conscious decision making of like, nope, it's now 8:30, 9 o'clock. I'm going to bed. My daughters are already asleep. Now I'm going to bed early. What is it, right? I'm going to minimize the sugar. I'm going to minimize, my treats. Minimize it. Drink more water. Listen. Deepen my connection to my breath so that I'm really nourishing my body, not only with the water that I bring into the body to hydrate the cells, but the breath is also going to nurture the central nervous system and support me there. So these are all ways that we support ourselves, that we nourish ourselves. What does it look like for you? If you're not sure, join me at my day retreat. All the information is below. But connecting to our nourishment is so key. How do you nourish yourself? Do you know what your medicine is? Is it plant-based? Is it pharmaceutical-based? Neither is right or wrong. But do you want to know a little more as to how to not be dependent on pharmaceuticals? And do you want to know how it is to nurture more in the foundations? Because I heard a study the other day that 50% of depression is cured by movement and exercise. That's powerful. How empowering is that to know, goodness, if I move more, then that's going to shift my mental perception and my mental state. And I think it was even more than 50%. Because when we move our energy. And when we move our energy, change happens. We shift our conscious connection. We shift the heaviness that can come in the mind and body, because we have created movement which elevates it, allows it to move on out. And we need to experience it. We need to do it. And in the doing, we upload that information not only into our bodies, but also into our minds. And we remember what movement feels like to our mind and our body. And we remember, I can make another choice. I can heal myself from this depression. I can heal myself from this anxiety, because if I move my body, I'm channeling that nervous energy into a productive avenue, and I've helped move it out of my body. There's so much. But one step at a time is the key. Just one step. Being clear on, what is my depletion look like when it shows up? In those early warning signs. And what can I do? What is my go-to to support me? And focus on that. Get that rest that you need, and check in with yourself. How much water have I drunken? So that you're not dehydrated and not even aware of the fact that you're dehydrated. Many, many blessings. I hope this was helpful. And if you would like to have some support in creating a strategy so that you can feel your optimal self, so that you can remember what that feels like. And if you don't even know, what would that feel like? If you don't have a memory of what feeling strong and centered and vital in your body feels like, are you curious to find out, what does that look like for you? How can I get more empowered so that I can feel strong, clear in my thoughts, connected to my heart? Work with me. I'll support you in cultivating a plan. Work with somebody else. Work with someone. Choose to reach out so that you can find and be in alignment with what truly makes your heart sing. Because yes, life is tough. Yes, it can be really uncomfortable and it can be difficult. We all have our life lessons to learn. But joy also needs to be present. And it is possible for joy, contentment, satisfaction to be present in our lives. And it is attainable. Bye for now.